What's up, America? This is Kim with Geauga Firearms Academy. Thanks for watching. Today we're going to go back to the basics. We're going to talk about gun safety. It's the way we start every class and lesson reviewing these simple rules, so I thought I would tell you guys about them. These are the universal gun laws. So the first one is that you never want to point the muzzle at anything you do not want to destroy. So I tell people, don't wear low-cut shirts to the range. Don't wear open-toed shoes because brass is hot, and it doesn't matter if it gets you and it's giving you a blister or where it goes. You have to keep this muzzle pointed in a safe direction, or a bee stings you or anything. It doesn't matter what's happening to you. You always have to keep this pointed in a safe direction. Another little tip is you can wear a baseball-style hat, and that'll help the brass from trying to go back and go behind your eyewear, or just getting stuck up here and giving you a nice little burn. The next rule is we're keeping our finger off the trigger and resting up here on the slider of the frame until we're ready to shoot. And that's really important because a lot of people want to either rest it over here on the trigger guard or they want to have it resting up here in space, and I don't like that because we have this thing called sympathetic response in our hands. So when these fingers go to curl and get a good grip, this guy wants to come along for the party. So if you're just resting it here, you could accidentally put your finger on the trigger when you're not ready. Or if you're resting it here in space, same thing. I like it resting up here where you're feeling the slider of the frame, keeping it safe and out of the way. The other really cool thing about this is it actually helps you get on target faster. Because from the time you were 1 year old, since I took my daughter to the doctor, they asked me, does she point? So we've been pointing since we were 1 year old. So we have this natural point of aim. So if you keep your finger resting up here, it'll actually help you get on target faster, and you'll use your sights, of course, to hone in, but it'll also help you out. The next rule is you need to know your target and what's beyond it, and also what's around you too. So don't just go in the woods and you're gonna shoot some stump because you think, oh, that'll be good enough. No, you need to make sure you have a proper backstop. You need to know what goes beyond that and make sure you're being safe. The last rule we're going to talk about is that we always want to treat the gun as if it's loaded. So it's really important that before we clean it, before we maintenance it, before you even look at a gun, like let's say you go to a gun shop, I always tell people it's common gun etiquette that that person will check the gun, and then you'll also check the gun before you check out the trigger or even just check out the sights or anything like that. Because even if 50 people before you had checked that gun, if they hand it to you and some kind of magical round made its way into there and you press the trigger, you're responsible for that. Alec Baldwin. Those are the 4 universal gun laws. I'm going to do a special Patreon only video going over how to check to make sure that the handguns are clear, because if there's one thing that most women struggle with during lessons and classes when I do it, it's being able to lock the slide to the rear. So I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to do that easily. So look for that on Patreon. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please give me a like, a thumbs up, a share, a comment. I always love to hear from you guys. You can of course find us here on YouTube. You can find us on Patreon. You can find us on Rumble. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook. We also just started a TikTok at Geauga Firearms. Make sure you go and give us some love. We're brand new and we love your support. Until next time, remember, it's always better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.